The story that I'm about to tell you is a stirring one. A tale of desperate valor that took place 124 years ago on the high veld of southern Africa. Now, while this year's commemoration is a couple months delayed from February 27th, when we usually have it, it is the collective act of reflection and celebration that is most important. It is an often told story of heroic effort, sacrifice, and courage. Nevertheless, it is important to retell it, for it links us once again with the glorious past and traditions forged by the soldiers of our regiment so long ago. On the 18th of February in the year 1900, the 2nd Special Service Battalion, the Royal Canadian Regiment, had merged with British forces to besiege the Boer Army at Paardeberg Drift on the banks of the Modder River. Among the attacking force of Royal Canadians were 31 officers and 866 other ranks. This was the first major battle Canadian troops took part in during the South African War. Canadian casualties were high during the assault. Our losses on the first day of the battle were 18 Canadian soldiers killed and 60 wounded. It was Canada's bloodiest single day of the entire conflict. The British High Command decided to change tactics and wait out the enemy. They had the Boers surrounded and figured it was only a matter of time before the Boers would have to surrender. Day by day, the British tightened their cordon around the Boer positions until conditions seemed right to force a Boer surrender. On the night, the 26th to 27th of February, the Canadians were in the lead of a British attempt to seize a section of the Boer trenches by a surprise attack. At 2 a.m. on the 27th of February, the Canadians cautiously advanced in two ranks towards the Boer lines, less than half a kilometer away. They had nearly reached the enemy trenches when they ran into a tripwire and came under heavy rifle fire. The front rank returned the Boer fire, while their comrades began to hack trenches out of the hard-baked earth. In the chaos of the attack, someone called out, "Retire." Men began to drop back. Confusion had set in, and most of the battalion returned to the starting line. Only G and H companies from the Maritimes held firm and poured rifle fire into the Boer positions. The sustained Canadian attack was enough to convince the Boer commander that he could not hold his position. Later that morning, he had surrendered to the British. There were 4,000 Boers captured that day, almost 10% of the entire Boer army. In the final action on the 27th of February, the Royal Canadian Regiment had lost 13 men killed and 36 wounded. The regiment's total losses for that period between 18th and 27th February were 34 killed and 100 wounded. Paardeberg Drift was the first great British victory over the Boers, and the Canadian contribution had captured the public's imagination. In particular, the battalion's climactic assault on the Boer trenches in the early morning darkness of the 27th of February was lauded and glamorized throughout Great Britain and the British Empire. This put our soldiers in the spotlight and earned them significant praise. The Royal Canadians would go on to take part in several more battles in South Africa. Their impressive battlefield accomplishments soon made the British generals consider them equal to any regiment of professionals of British soldiers. May we continue to honor their legacy with our three great traditions of chivalry, gallantry, and dash. Pro Patria.